I'm going to show you some approaches and techniques when painting from observation. In this case, I'm going to paint from this photograph. I might want to have it my reference image raised up so I could see it better. I might want to start by doing a preparatory sketch of this image on a rough piece of paper. When you do yours, you might want to do that. First, do a little sketch of your composition. But for this video, I'm going to skip that step. I'm using a 5H pencil and I'm going to draw really lightly. In this case, my paper is about twice as big as my reference image. So I want to make sure I make things bigger. That's the whole point of using a big piece of paper. I'm going to blow it up a bit. I'll start off drawing really, really lightly. And just the pencil will tend to show through the watercolor paint, so it's pretty important to draw quite lightly. I'm like barely touching the paper. And it's not the easiest shape in the world to draw. I'm not drawing sketchy, I'm just kind of drawing a clean contour line, the outer edges of the form. So this looks pretty good. I'm not going to worry about being exactly accurate. So I have that, and then I'm going to add a couple of blueberries. So this image I just grabbed off the internet and I don't have the rights to it. So this is not something I could put in a gallery or sell. I'm just doing this for educational purposes. So this is my sketch, and just to compare it, you can see this is the original. It's pretty close. So this is a little funky here, this line, so I'm going to go in and just fix this a little bit. Make this nice and round. Mine's a little broken up. Alright, so this will be kind of an experiment. So I'm going to get rid of any lines I don't want to appear, because since this is yellow, not very dark, these lines will really tend to show right through my watercolor paint. I think I'll start with the blueberries because they're smaller and probably easier. So I want to see what my blue looks like straight out of the... That blue is pretty good. If I wanted to check it, I could even hold my photo next to it. That really is pretty close in terms of hue. And obviously, if I want to do the lighter areas lighter, I just need more water. So this would be more pigment here, and this area would be more water. I'm just going to put water. I'm going to very carefully put water inside my blueberry shape that I've made. Just plain water. And now I'm just going to touch that. I'm going to load my brush up with paint. And I'm just going to put some paint in. I think I could use more paint. There's a middle part to the blueberry, but this is really going to spread out. I'm revising my outer edges a little bit with the brush. So up here, I really want this to be white, or not white, but light. And over here, it looks, you can see I didn't really get this well with my water. So I'm gonna go ahead, I want some more pigment here. I'll go ahead and revise my outer edge. And up top, my blueberry is looking a little squashed up top. I'm gonna add some more water up here. My paper is bubbling out because of all the water, but that looks pretty cool. When this is dry, after this is dry, I'm gonna work into it some more. I'm just gonna give it a little more blue. And just, there's this little like broken, little like almost a flower shape inside the blueberry. I'm starting to, okay, there's one. Yeah, over here, this is, all right, so there's things about that. There's things I don't like about this in terms of, I wasn't super careful with the outer edges with my water. So this time I'm gonna be more careful. So I'm gonna actually get the paint off my brush, pushed it in the water, and now I'm gonna slow down and be even more careful. And I guess if I give myself a little bit of pigment, I'll be able to see better where I'm actually putting it. So I'm using a really light wash of blue to put down my water. I think I like that. Now I'm gonna put the water in, more water inside. So I'm gonna get more paint. So the darkest blue is at the bottom here. And there's dark shadow in here. All right, and we'll just let that dry. See what it looks like. So you can see over here, this has gotten a little distorted somehow. I think it's because it looks a little weird because the paper's buckling from the water. I'm gonna add a little bit more, make this really dark. If I wanted to darken up my blue, what should I add to it? Let's see, I could add some purple to it. I'm gonna get some purple from my watercolor set, and I'm gonna mix that with blue to do the dark areas of blue. So yeah, that's much darker, you can see, much darker than this blue. And now I'm gonna add some of that in here to make it give a few dark areas. I'm not manipulating it too much. I'm just putting it in the general areas where I want things to be real dark. See how that spreads out. If I want to do yellow, I may need to get new water. Let's see how this is. And my yellow is a little bit dirty here. So I'm gonna first clean it off. I'm gonna activate it by getting it wet. I wanna try to rub this green that's on here. Actually, I'm not gonna rub. I think what I'll do is this new technique I have. Okay. Now I'm gonna I've cleaned off my brush. I'm gonna squeeze the water out of it and use the brush to kind of lift up, suck up the dirty water on top of my paint. I got a test piece of watercolor paper. It's the same paper. I'm gonna, just so I can see, I wanna make sure my yellow isn't dirty at all from my dirtyish water. So you can see here, it looks very yellow. That's good. That's brighter than my photograph. Let's see what it looks like on paper. And I'm gonna compare that to my photograph I have here. Of course, my photograph is probably inaccurate also, but. So I'm gonna squint. This yellow is a little softer than this. I think this yellow is good, but there's also, most of this has some orange in it too. So I think what I'll do is start off with yellow that has a little bit of orange added to it. So I'll add a little bit of orange to my yellow. That's 2 orange. So now I'm gonna add more yellow to it. And again, I'm not gonna have a lot of control over this, but this is looking pretty good. This would be good for the lower edge of the banana, which is kind of in shadow. All right, so I've got all the paint off my brush, and I'm gonna go in and carefully put water right up to my contour line. I like to do, sometimes I talk about this in the past, I like to be able to brush away from myself. This is how I can get the most accurate brush strokes. So I'm going right up to the line. And then I'm not gonna do this edge right now. I think I'll just put water here. I think I needed a bigger brush, but we'll see. You can see that my water's a little bit dirty. So I think at this top, I'll start with more yellow, and just let it move out into the, I could even drip it. So I'm gonna go ahead and also carefully brush here. This is mostly just straight yellow. Up here in my photograph, it starts to get darker, so I think I'll I'll add some different color as I get up here. So now I'm gonna add my orange yellow here. There's actually a shadow in the photograph here, so I'll go do that. I actually have, in my photo, I have a pretty harsh line right here. Just noticing, so it might be neat to try to replicate that. There's actually a line here. So I want to take away this and try to create a line. So let's see if this works. Use my paper towel. I'm just pulling off some of the pigment. I think now I'll do the bottom edge. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn my paper over, and I'm also gonna turn my photograph over. And I'm feeling like I also need a bigger brush, so I'm gonna go get that. I have a couple different options here. I have this one, rounded brush, and a flat brush. I'm gonna see if this one feels good. This puts enough water down. So I'm gonna just put water where the darker areas are in my photograph. So now I'm gonna slow down and carefully put water down right up to my line. I want it to be real even, smooth line. I'll put some more. And this I'm gonna touch with yellow orange. Some of this in the photograph is approaching brown, some of the banana. So to create brown, I could add some of the complement. So maybe I'll try, since this is kind of orange, I'm gonna try adding a tiny bit of blue, seeing what that does. So yeah, see, that created a brown or orange. Just gonna go in here. So I think I went a little too far with the blue. So now I'm gonna add more orange to it to make it look more brown. I'm kind of mixing right on the paper here. And watercolor will dry lighter than it looks, so this is going to end up looking lighter than this. Do a little dripping, see what happens. So I want you folks to just play with this. I'm gonna turn it back around. Turn my photo back around. This a little crisper here. It's got line got a little broken up. And up here in my photo I have a dark brown and here a dark brown, but I'm gonna wait till my paint dries to do that. I've got this should be green. There's some green on my banana. Let's add that. So I'm gonna clean off my brush, get some green. I'm gonna add a tiny bit of yellow to my green. And go ahead and put some green in here. I'm looking really closely at my photograph right now. That's kind of a bluish green. That's not what I want. I want a yellow green. And this looks a little harsh to me, so I'm going to go ahead and pull some water in here and let it kind of bleed with the yellow more. I'm being real gentle. This paper will start to break. Here we have some water collecting. I don't want that. I'm going to spread that out. I'm gonna squint, look at this and squint. This is a little distracting still. This harsh brown. And yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm just squinting to see where the values are in my photo and realizing I want a little more brown down here. Why don't we try yellow and purple? I haven't done that yet. So I got more yellow here. And then I'm going to add purple to it. Oh, the purple's going to overpower it. All right, so that's way too much purple. I'll put it in here and add yellow to that. I'm going to add this brown. This is a different brown. Really light. Add a little more purple, a little more yellow. I could drip stuff around, but I don't want that green to really leave there, so I'm going to leave that like that. Yeah, see how that dries. I'm going to just touch the screen with a paper towel, lift a little bit up with it, see what happens here. The paper's just wicking it up. There's a lot of water there. This is dry, so now I'm ready to work on it some more. I noticed over here, this got real weird, so I'm going to try to fix that first, and then maybe I'll do some shadows. So this is bumpy. I don't want this to be bumpy. I want this to be a smooth line. So I'll see if I can do that. Alright, so this is not as dark as the paint above it. So I need to add a little orange to it. Just a little bit though. And this got really wide, so that means I'm gonna widen my bottom some more here. I could just wet this old paint and just push it around. So that I don't have such a harsh line, I can just wet this paint and move it around, since watercolor is water soluble. But I have some neat colors going on here. I really like it. This looks bumpy now because the paper's bending, but I actually think it's pretty smooth. Up here, the banana should be wider up here. So I'm gonna clean my brush off. So I'm gonna get some really light yellow. So I've got some yellow, and now I'm gonna add water to it. And I need to widen this out here. Actually, in the photo, basically white on the edge, so I might have to define that later with my shadow. But this here should be wider. This should be darker here. Add some, just took my paint off. I'm just adding water here. Try to lighten it up. I'm gonna add some details. I think I'll start with the thing furthest away from me, which is the blueberries. So again, I'm gonna use some purple with some blue to do the dark darks. So I'm replicating this. So these could use just a few more accents of dark blue. Making my dark blue by adding purple, or sometimes it's called violet, to blue. I had finished up these and started adding brown spots, but my phone didn't record it. So I'll do a little bit more and then I'm going to stop for today. These seem a little dark, so I'm going to see if I can pull up a little paint from this. Try to make it a little less intense of a shadow. if this does anything. It's not picking up much. So to make this darker, I'm going to add purple to the blue. Yes, I'm recording right now.
Can you post on YouTube?
I'm going to, but I'm going to not put anything with you guys in it. There was a way to make this more fuzzy. Just going to put water down, see if any of this gray will bleed into the water. Not really adding paint. I just ran out of memory in my camera again, so I freed it up. So I just darkened up the banana a bit, but then my spots started to bleed because they got wet. So now I have to redo some spots. So I'll do that with time lapse, and then I think I'll probably be done with this piece. just noticed a couple spots in the shadows that bothered me. This too much contrast between this, and this shadow should be bigger, and then I'll be done. I want to make sure this gray is not too dark, so that's actually even too dark. So I'm gonna add some water to that, and then go in here and add some gray. Just a little, the white there was just a little too bright. I noticed something too, my angle, this really isn't exactly like what's in my photograph. My angle of my stem is really, it should be more like this way, but I wasn't going for photorealism with this. I was trying to pretty accurately paint what I saw. Then I need more gray over here. Basically, the shadows created this whole new problem. And I wasn't really paying attention when I started the shadows. So next time I do a still life like this, I'm gonna be more prepared for my shadows. I'm gonna learn from my mistakes on this one.